Assalamu alaikum and welcome to another episode of the Muslim Gamers Podcast. Whether you're tuning in via YouTube or listening to us on your favorite podcast platform, we're glad to have you with us as we talk about video games. Now, we can't ignore what's going on around the world and the hardships our Muslim brothers and sisters are facing throughout the world. We may not be experts to talk about news and politics. Well, speaking for myself at least, I don't know about our co-host here, but we are definitely Muslims who can, at the very least, pray for and make dua for our brothers and sisters around the world. So may Allah bring victory, relief, and ease to our fellow Muslims in Palestine, in Sudan, in Yemen, and the list goes on, everywhere else where there are Muslims and there are people suffering. I mean, it is during times like this that I'm very grateful for a hobby that gives me some sort of enjoyment at the very least. And I'm glad to be able to talk about it with my co-host for this episode. We have Muhammad, aka Mo Beast, and Nael, aka Nile River, who has his own riverbanks to talk about. How are you guys doing?
Good.
Good, man. Alhamdulillah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. A little tired, it's kind of given with, we get a little later into the day with parents, work full time and all that. It's been kind of hot today too. So,
Yep.
Yeah.
Feeling the heat this week.
Yeah, for sure.
It's only the beginning, man.
Yeah. Let's switch things up a little bit. Speaking of Switch, I hear you, both of you guys actually ended up getting the Switch 2. I know we talked about it briefly. Ooh, you got it right there.
This is the limited edition one. This is my AirPod case. I'm kidding.
I was about to say, I didn't realize they made it that small. I thought they were.
Yeah, bro. This is limited edition right here. One of a kind.
One of one.
So let's start with let's actually start with Niall, because I feel like I haven't seen you in a while. Why don't you tell us a little bit about your impressions overall, hardware, software, playing games on it, etc.
You guys know I've been kind of busy the last while, so I haven't really dived into everything that's available on the Switch 2. But I just kind of jumped straight in because I saw GameCube emulation is now available. Right. So I was like, okay, I'm playing Wind Waker because I love Wind Waker. Okay. So I've been playing a lot of Wind Waker, and I did update my Zeldas, the other two Zeldas. Okay. Breath of the Wild and
Tears of the Kingdom.
Tears of the Kingdom. Thank you. I did update them and just peek at okay, how does it look? It looks really clean. So I do want to come back to them, but I want to finish Wind Waker first.
Okay.
And I did get to jump into Mario Kart because I got the Mario Kart edition. So
nice.
It's been fun. The new game edition, the 24 racers is kind of crazy. So it's just been fun, playing with some friends came over, we played some Mario Kart.
Okay.
So just messing with it. I haven't really dived into it yet.
You said you tried out the I know in our chat you told us you tried out a little bit of the what's a 24 player LAN? How did you guys?
No. I didn't try it out. I just thank you for reminding me. I saw that the Switch 2 is capable of setting up 24 player LAN, which would be very fun to try out if we can find 24 friends who got the Switch 2.
Well, I mean, 2 out of 3 here with all 3 of us here, so that's not too
the numbers
bad.
Are lobby full of bots, bro. It would be outnumbered here.
Yeah. Cool. Mohammed, why don't you tell us a little bit about your impressions?
Yeah, so essentially from just the feel of it is a lot nicer, in my opinion. I like the feeling of the controllers and even the backside
it feels a little bit
of
more
it.
Premium.
Way more premium. It feels a lot more durable. The magnetic and then the lock for the Joy-Cons, that is just game changer because I didn't solid. The railing. I mean, if you have kids or you're just not very careful, and you can feel the bend. Like I'm pretty careful with my stuff, but just from a durability standpoint, it's a lot more premium. Now, would that just warrant in itself? That should just be for all handhelds in general. That should be considered. But the fact that's an upgraded thing that I really enjoy, just holding it feels a lot better. The Joy-Con analog sticks feel much better. Even though they're not Hall effects, they still feel nice. The screen on handheld just looks everything it's just essentially what a Switch Pro you would expect it to be.
That's basically what it was supposed to be anyway.
Yeah, because I mean, I'm starting to think now that looking back at the past Switch Pro leaks in the past, during COVID or a little bit after, Nintendo probably just said, "Hey, we're just gonna make this like a number 2 Switch, a Switch 2 versus a Pro."
As they were going through the
yeah, because
Right.
they noticed the cost and everything. There's like, let's try to play this out, and it never got any better, so we have to release it. And I think they saw like how well the first Switch was doing. Like, why should we interrupt it? So I think that just seeing how it is, it's what you would expect from a better Switch, to be honest. I know like the fact that I have a 4K TV and like OLED, I couldn't stand playing like Zelda on even docked on the old Switch. Like I was like, you know what, I'm gonna come back to this game for later. That's a game that needs definitely like an upgrade for me to enjoy it. So when I did like now, like I peaked a little bit, it feels way better, way better. Like both handheld and on the TV. I was like, this is something that because I stopped playing them, like, and I've never really been a Zelda guy growing up. I was like, I want to have a good experience. I don't want to play it twice. Like, I mean, my time is limited. I'm not gonna play a game this large twice. In terms of accessories too, I got the Pro controller that I think has the most substantial premium feel, more than I think the Joy-Cons and the system itself. The sticks, the feel, it's like it feels like it has a kind of like a matte feel to it, or I don't know how to explain it, but the analog stick feels better.
It's not quite like rubber.
Yeah, it's not rubber, but it's kind of like rubber, so it feels really great. Mario Kart,
it's kind of a grippy plastic.
Yeah. Mario Kart feels that it's pretty interesting that like it took this long for them to do an open world. Messing around with it a little bit. I didn't really play much online because I was more intrigued into the open world aspect of it. I feel like for kids,
did you do a lot of free roam?
I just would, dude. I would just drive around. Like I just would drive around, see if I find anything. I wasn't really trying to like let me hunt things down. Let me just go and see where this. Just jump in. I'm bored. I got 20 minutes. Let me just drive around for a little bit. It's kind of cool. It's like it kind of reminds me of like, not exactly, but like a feel of like Mario 64, but on a cart. Like you get jumped up into the sky, go up here, go there, like you gotta fly here. So you're just tied to a cart, which is cool. You'll find like random AI bots like just like flying by and try to race them. But I feel like it's definitely a substantial upgrade. For the 450, 150 extra, but you could definitely see them bringing out an OLED version again later, which I think was kind of a disappointment. They should have done it initially. But like, it was kind of like a lackluster launch of game titles. Like Mario Kart wasn't. It's good, but it's not good enough. You needed like a Mario.
We needed Smash.
But
we needed
Donkey Kong looks freaking awesome.
It does.
It looks awesome. I feel like if they had probably released it with it, maybe it would have been better. But it's only a month out, so it's not too bad. Give enough people time to get the Switch 2 so they could boost up sales for Donkey Kong.
Plus, I don't think they're going to be hurting. Like people are still struggling to find the Switch.
They've been restocking every week, different retailers, and it's crazy. Like as much as they're out of stock, and people were saying they're going to buy it. A lot of people I knew that weren't going to buy it bought it, and they broke records for the fastest selling console.
Period.
Fastest selling console.
So I'm sure.
And then all the hate they got, you're like, dude, where was all this? Exactly, like, I was buying it anyways. Like, I was kind of disappointed for some things, but
I wasn't intending on buying it right away. I was gonna wait, but then my wife had surprised me with the birthday gift.
Good surprise.
So all right, I'm not gonna complain. I'll be happy.
But the only thing I don't like is how expensive all these accessories are for no reason. Just to make up for the tariffs.
The camera.
So you can use other cameras, but
I didn't try that.
So if you have a webcam, it works. People say, "Oh, it just works," and you're not tied to it.
But why is a proprietary camera so expensive? It's just a camera. Like it's just
Nintendo branding. Camera. It's a way to get the moms and dads that don't know any better. It's like, you gotta buy Nintendo.
Their branded case is $80.
Oh, did you get the
or 60
the SD card? Because I was like, let me just pop my SD card from my Switch.
No, you can't use that one.
Switch 2. You can't do that one because it needs the new class SD card. And I was like, oh my god.
What are they calling it?
The only one available.
Micro SD Express?
The only one available was the Nintendo branded one. So I had to pay the Nintendo tax.
Lexar has one and SanDisk. I would wait for SanDisk. I mean, I've heard Lexar have some good issues.
As a photographer, I'm staying away from SanDisk now.
Oh, really?
SanDisk has had many problems. They are not.
Okay.
They acknowledge problems that they haven't been fixing.
For micro or just the regular?
All
over. Yeah.
It's not if they're having this kind of issue
that's
with
what he's
one
saying.
thing, I stay away from the whole company.
Yeah, so Lexar probably the best next best bet.
Lexar is going to be better,
but it's pretty expensive right now. I would honestly wait. But the problem is like these games are getting larger.
They're so
really,
big. Yeah, they're so big.
Yeah, I mean the 256 gigs is internal, but that fills up pretty fast, especially with how many of these games they don't even come in the cart anymore.
Yeah, no. Yeah. Well, not all games. So that's all, I want to hear you guys' opinion on the whole cartridge,
virtual cards.
I know there's a lot of people who don't fully understand it still, and they're still talking. But I want to see your guys' opinions.
So based on how it seems to work, on one hand I kind of like it because like it makes sharing, like if you're in a family and you have multiple Nintendo devices, it makes it kind of easier. The annoying part is like, okay, now one device is playing it, both devices can't play it. Which you could do. You just had issues with saving, I think, before.
Because I know there's certain games you can play even if they don't own it. It just depends on the game.
Yeah.
Like the DS era, like how you were able to do like Mario Party or whatever.
It's kind of like that, where as long as they're in your if you have to pay for Nintendo, the family expansion,
Okay.
What is it?
So they have to be under your...
So they have to be within the family.
I think there's both ways.
I thought it was just like same Wi-Fi connection or something.
Yeah, that's different. That's like anyone can play, which they had that before on certain games. It could work that way. But now it's I think more games if you're on the Wi-Fi.
Got it.
You can share and stuff. But the main thing is like family share. The way it's working is like, okay, you have to have the family online account, and then your virtual game cards can get shared. A little bit more cleanly.
That's not bad. It's better than what other companies are doing, to be honest.
Yeah, it definitely is a step, I think, in the better direction.
It's kind of like sharing your Steam library in a sense.
In a way, yes.
Yeah,
which they've made it a lot better now with Steam.
Yeah.
At the very least. For the virtual game cards, when I first heard about it, I was like, finally, thank goodness, because I have a secondary Switch that I use here, this little Nintendo Switch Lite, and I shared the story before where I took it once when I was, I had to visit a family member in the hospital. There was a lot of waiting involved, so I was like, I know I'm gonna wait, so let me just play a little bit in between, the times when I have to talk to the doctor or whatever. And because this is my secondary Switch, all my DLC or downloaded games will need to have to do a handshake when it's connected online to make sure okay, you're the guy that owns it. For some reason, of all of the devices that I brought to the hospital, the Switch Lite was the only one that didn't want to connect to the Wi-Fi.
Funny.
So it's like I couldn't even play. I was only stuck with what I think I had only a card for Diablo 3, and I couldn't even use my seasonal character because it's not connecting online.
Oh man.
Yeah, but then when and I have a lot of downloaded games as well. It was the Switch was my indie machine before I got the Steam Deck. So I had Dead Cells, Hades, Moonlighter, Spiritfarer, all those types of games. And now being able to play them where it's like, okay, I can choose what I want to play on, because my main Switch is being used by my son. He doesn't really play those types of games, so I'll just set it to where it's on mine. And my main Switch stays home anyway, so it just needs to check with the internet. As long as I'm not playing it, he's able to play it if he wants to.
Yeah, the family management side of it has definitely gotten better.
Right, exactly. Yeah. So I'm happy with it, but overall, it's like we're headed more and more. I mean, we already are there in a reality of you don't own your games anymore. You just own the license to play them, because they could take away your ability to play at any time, down to the console now. Even in Nintendo Switch, the Switch 2's terms of service, a part of that, isn't it? Like if they detect you doing any kind of funny business, they could literally break your console.
Yeah. They started doing that with the MiG Switch. People started getting it, and they started getting banned. Nintendo's not really the one I would mess with, but I'm pretty sure as long as you don't connect your thing to the internet, like
I think
you're good.
There's still worries that it might still store some sort of log or whatever of using that, so
somehow I don't know.
Yeah,
there's always people always find like a workaround. There's always some. You just gotta wait. But it's interesting because it's like people were getting mad about the virtual card for the physical cartridge. I'm like, PlayStation and Xbox have been doing that.
Oh yeah, like Doom. It's not, Dark Ages is like 88 megabytes on the disc.
Yeah. And I was just like, okay, well, not all. The thing is, I don't know what
a lot of games happens. Won't even fit.
Yeah, and people started running with it. Oh, no longer physical. Nintendo was like, hold on, there's certain games that are going to be on cartridge on our end, and then third-party publishers. But the thing is, like, Nintendo kind of forces it because now they only give you 2 options for SD card sizes.
You mean the game card sizes?
Yeah, sorry, the game cartridge sizes. So now that's forcing publishers to either really optimize their game to make it fit, or you know what, just opt in for the digital side of things, which most of them are going to do. They're not going to spend extra money on a larger cartridge.
If I'm not mistaken, I think CD Projekt Red put Cyberpunk on
Cyberpunk and The Witcher. Cyberpunk and The Witcher. So The Witcher, when it was the early days of the Switch, and the fact that they did it on a smaller cartridge, which is even more impressive, and then they did it also on. I bought it just for the physical aspect and collecting aspect. Like, I'm not gonna play on the Switch, but things like that, like, you're just like, you know what?
So on that note, have you guys tried out your Switch 1 games on the Switch 2?
Yeah,
just the Zelda. That's it. I haven't really tried anything else yet.
I'm curious to see how, because I know Nael, you played through Hogwarts Legacy on the Switch. So did you notice any sort of like performance bump? I know a lot of Nintendo first party games.
I haven't tried Hogwarts Legacy yet. My niece was playing SpongeBob on the Switch too.
Okay,
but with that game, it's hard to tell because it's a low graphic game,
right?
So
cartoony graphics. Usually,
it's hard to tell.
Don't tend to like push the limits.
I do want to try Hogwarts Legacy and see how it performs. I feel like it should have a performance bump.
Okay. Yeah, well, I'm anxiously awaiting to see how that.
Because that was a game that could definitely use an update.
Oh yeah,
on the Switch.
From the compatibility side, I know like they did a few updates that fixed a lot of things just from Nintendo side, and there was a lot of games like at launch that weren't doing well or not compatible, and they fixed a lot. So Nintendo's really doing everything on their end. It's kind of just really up to the developers if they're going to add to it after or not.
Right.
They might just resell you. To be honest, at this point.
Yeah, get you to pay the $10. I'm sure.
Exactly.
Hey, $80 this time.
Yeah, no, $10 for the upgraded version.
No, upgrade. $80, bro. $80. No upgrade path here.
So, Mohammad, I wanted to ask about one thing you were talking about with how you like the way the Joy-Cons feel now and the way they attach and detach with the magnets. I saw this video of a dude who got his like finger stuck in there. Where it started to pinch.
I heard about this.
What?
Yeah. So
do you think did I do that too? Is that what you're asking,
does it feel like it could easily happen or
not easily?
Not easily.
So here's the thing.
Purposely be trying to do
this is what I've been noticing in the last 7 years. So when these new consoles come out, I don't know if you guys remember when the Series X came out. People started saying it was smoking. It was a vape.
People were vaping into it. Yeah.
People just do stuff like that just to get something or just troll or memes or whatever. And IGN or someone else picks it up and starts saying, "Oh, this was happening."
Like the thing is, this connection. I remember seeing the videos of people like, "Oh, it's gonna be so flimsy," blah blah, right? But like, the port is pretty wide, and this is like thinner, and it doesn't feel like it's.
Apologies to our audio listeners.
You know,
let's give it
but it feels more robust than people were claiming it was going to be.
It feels way more durable than I thought it would.
Yeah,
it feels way more durable than I thought it would.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So
I'm just being honest. People say, "Oh, if Nintendo fanboys," but like, dude, I love every brand. It feels like the rail system in theory on the first Switch would be better than the magnetic. In theory, right? If you thought of that all rail system versus that, there's more it's a whole rail where it should be more secure than one little spot for a magnet. I think they did pretty well on this one.
Yeah.
Yes.
Because with the rails, it does feel a little like it feels a little wobbly. It's not like it's gonna break apart in your heart.
Yeah, you have to really try, and you have to be like someone who's careless or a kid or angry or raging to really break it. But you do feel a little
Yeah.
give a little play.
Yeah,
There's a little play to it.
It's one of the reasons I got this deck is just one piece, so it doesn't feel
like comparatively speaking, this has like very little play.
Okay.
It has play, but you look
it
how
has play,
you have
but
to try.
I have to like really, you know, like when you're holding it like with your fingers and everything, it's not wiggling.
You see how he's holding it? He's not holding it like at the edge doing this.
Your whole hand is
your whole hand is
pinching it.
Yeah, your whole hand's encompassing it, so you're not really gonna.
You're not gonna feel the wiggle.
Yeah, it's just when you think about that as for kids, or that's it.
Okay. On that note, speaking of the way it feels in your hands, how does it compare in ergonomics to maybe other handhelds? I know Nael, you got the Steam Deck. Mobius, you got the.
I would have liked. I mean,
Pocket.
Obviously, as with someone with adult hands, it would have been nice to have a little ergonomics to the controller.
Yeah.
You know, a little more roundedness, so it can fit in your hand a little better. But we knew what we were gonna get with Nintendo.
Yeah, with the Retroid, I wouldn't really compare because it's way smaller.
Right.
But I have a Steam Deck, an Asus ROG. I mean, the thing is with the first Switch, I mean, I started buying ergonomic accessories for it. Satisfy was the first one, and then there was CDKR Nitro, the one where you take the screen and you insert it in a whole other housing.
Yeah.
The housing, it's
kind of like the cracked what's it called? Whatever that's called, where it kind of turns it on almost like a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
It's like an entire housing.
So those are the type of things like you would expect from. That's how it's going to be like with the Switch. Like it's if you're an accessory company, so that's what you're going to be doing. I mean, I even got different types of Joy-Cons for the first Switch, like the what's it called, the brand,
the Hori Split Pad Pro.
No, not that one. The one from Korea.
Those ones are really comfortable.
Yeah,
one
super
from Korea.
Like, comfortable, light. I love this
Nixie.
thing.
Nixie.
Oh, Nixie. Yeah.
They had the ones that were kind of like more angular and stuff, like they were GameCube colored. I had those. So in terms of ergonomics, it's the same, to be honest. It's just a little bit bigger. Yeah, and they're because of the detachable.
The weight is definitely like much lighter than like.
You feel it's heavy?
Like
lighter?
Lighter than like your Steam Deck.
Oh
RG, right. But it is heavier than the original Switch.
Yeah.
So you will get the wrist fatigue, but not as early as you get it with like a Steam Deck.
Yeah, because it's not. You're not like here. You're kind of a little bit here, a little bit more. Like my hands are a little bit wider.
Nael, you say you get it earlier with the Steam Deck? The wrist fatigue?
Wrist fatigue, you will get it earlier with the Steam Deck compared to the Switch 2.
Okay.
Oh, really?
Interesting.
Yeah, it's heavier.
Oh, wrist.
I feel like I'm able to.
Sorry.
Wrist
fatigue. Yeah. My brain's fatigued right now.
Yeah, if you're playing like pure handheld, the weight is lighter than the Steam Deck. It's in between the Switch 1 and the Steam Deck, right?
So I might sound like a fanboy. The placement of the analog sticks and buds of Steam Deck, I think, is better.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I agree.
For sure.
I agree.
The top part for people who have large hands, large thumbs.
Because if you're doing anything double stick, you're like down here.
Yeah.
You know,
and the buttons are
really
like
weird placement. Yeah. Or like you're top thumbing it. It's very odd.
Yeah.
I know there's no games. I don't know if you guys have played any of the games that support this, but
the mouse
mode. Yeah, that's kind of what I'm interested in.
No, I haven't done anything with the mouse yet, but I'm curious to try.
So I know the big one for them is going to be Mario Jamboree, which isn't, the upgrade is not out yet for the Switch 2. They had that Nintendo one, the Switch 2 tour, which
the
I thought
tutorial
was
that you have
$10. I'm not paying $10 for
a
tutorial, bro. Like this is becoming pay to win to use a console at this point.
Exactly, basically.
There was, I think, another game that uses it, but I haven't.
Metroid Prime 4, which hasn't come out yet.
Hasn't come out yet, but I think there is another game.
Fortnite, I think, uses it.
Okay, yeah. Bro, I don't know. I'll use it when I can connect my regular mouse to it. But
you can. I think you can with most regular mouses.
Yeah, you can just plug it into the USB port, I think.
Oh, then there you go. Yeah. I haven't really tried it. I feel like it's probably gonna be utilized the most for Mario Party type games.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I know there's also that other someone I forgot what it was called, but someone called it Mario and Sonic at the Special Olympics. This is that wheelchair game where you have to.
Well, they did come out with a wheelchair game. You guys saw that, the basketball one?
That's the one I'm talking about.
Okay, yeah. But that's interesting is that I did a video on this, like I think early on when it was announced. There was in the parental controls, I don't know if you guys saw about this, there was the VR accessibility thing for your kids. So the speculation, at least my speculation, is that they experimented with Labo, right? And then they have the history of VR from back in the day, or VR
with the Virtual Boy,
and they're always trying to try different things for immersion and everything. That's like the new thing everyone's trying to get into, and they're kind of always hesitant. I think what Nintendo's going to do, not release a VR, they're going to release like these type of glasses for the console.
AR accessories.
Kind of like the
like like Ray Neo, Vitcher, all those that connect to the Steam Deck.
That's one, yeah.
I think it's going to be something along those lines because you see them mess with AR with the Mario Kart. What was it called? It
was like with
actual RC cars.
RC cars.
Right.
Yeah. I forgot the name of the product, but yeah, it was a Mario Kart. So I think they're going to be messing along with that, where certain games might have like a VR mode or VR AR mode, or you could use it as an extra screen, or sell it as a different accessory. Because like if you look at how like PlayStation operates, and now Nintendo and all these other tech companies like Apple, like it's like you have a center hub device and you add things on top of it versus trying to make an ultimate one device that does everything. It's too expensive. So it becomes kind of a modular entertainment system at that point.
Okay.
That's my theory. But I mean, they do have the VR parental settings for the Switch too. So what that looks like, I don't know, but that's just my speculation. Wild guess.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think I had one more question. Battery life. So I was surprised to find out. I don't know how much you guys have messed around with it on handheld mode, but I was surprised to find out that it only has a 19 watt hour battery on the Switch 2.
I feel like I'm noticing it. Like I haven't like gone a full play with it yet, but like today I was playing with it, and I think it feels like it's dropping faster than it should.
Okay.
Yeah, but I know I have to do a proper test.
Yeah,
I play more docked. Sometimes I play handheld. I'm more of a docked person. But they did say that was another thing. A lot of people were upset when they announced is that the battery life on it is less than they expected. That people expected it to be. That's when the Switch 2 OLED comes out.
Yeah, or
battery
whatever
life,
the revised version of the Switch 2. Because when the Switch 1, where they had the upgraded chip on there, was able to run a lot more efficiently.
Yeah. I mean, you could always get like those beefy battery packs and just have a long cable. I don't know, but
yeah,
just get a battery backpack and just hook that up.
I mean, eventually, it's people have to understand. It's like there's only so much you can fit.
Yeah, I mean, I think in order to get a bigger battery, it would have had more weight, right?
Yeah, so or they start making videos.
I think they sacrificed the battery size for the weight. I think.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that was a smart way to go about with it.
Otherwise, it would have been like, you got to remember, Nintendo, a big portion of their audience is going to be kids.
I mean, and not everyone's going to be gaming handheld for 4 hours straight every day. Like, I mean, in the summers as a kid, yeah, but like
a lot of people, especially like adults, commuters, who are taking the train, they're going to be.
But the percentage of usage to the amount of effort and cost that you have to do as a company is like, you're like,
yeah.
That's why people who are die hard are gonna have like battery packs.
They'll have all the accessories.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Yeah, no, there's tons of accessories to add more battery life to it. There's so many battery banks you can buy on Amazon. But yeah, I'm one of those people that loves to play handheld most of the time. Anyway,
it is helpful that you get the second port on top.
Yeah, I'm glad they did that.
Yeah, I'm so glad they did that. Yeah. I'm wishing the Steam Deck was that way, where it at least had 2 separate USB-C ports, but it is what it is. I'm sure we'll see that.
Choose where
if
to
we
plug
ever
it
see
in.
Steam Deck.
Yeah. Steam Deck 2 is like later on in the future.
Yeah, even that we're not even sure, because Valve is.
They said that
Valve loves to start projects.
Yeah,
they said that they're not going to do anything until there's substantial upgrades to hard tech. So the Z2 Extreme is coming out with like the new handhelds coming out, and I'm pretty sure we're going to get into that next. But I don't think the Z2 Extreme is going to be that substantial for Valve to make another handheld. They're currently trying to get ready for their new VR headset to come out.
Right.
So I think you wouldn't see the Steam Deck, the Decker. That's the code name.
Yeah.
So you're not going to see Steam Deck 2 till sometime after the Deckard, like several years. It's going to be a while.
Yeah. Probably not till 2030.
Something like that.
Yeah.
If we make it that far, inshallah.
Yeah, inshallah.
Yeah. All right. That's a good way to segue into some of the news, and because you mentioned, because we started talking about some of the new handhelds that we're looking forward to in the horizon. I'll go ahead and start with the news story. I mean, it's been a while since we actually talked about the news, so this happened a while ago. Many podcasts, many YouTube videos have talked to death about this, so we'll try not to spend too much time. But Xbox announced their new Xbox handheld, and I'm putting the Xbox part in huge air quotes because it's not really an Xbox. It's just a PC handheld with the Xbox branding on it. What does intrigue me is that it's got a better, it's got a version of Windows that's running a better, more controller friendly UI, which has mostly been my complaint about. Trying to game on PC, especially if I'm trying to play on my TV or whatever, where I just, and I just have a controller in hand. I don't have a wireless keyboard or mouse or whatever, and I'm just trying to play, controller based game from my TV, from my couch on the TV on the PC, and it just there's always something where I have to go and you get a mouse to click a UAC prompt or whatever. Apparently, they did confirm that this new UI would support UAC, where it's all kind of built in, where you can if there is any prompt, you can just use a controller to get through it, and it's gonna use 1 to 2 gigs less RAM because there's not all those Windows stuff that's running in the background. It's just mostly gaming dedicated.
No shadows.
And also options to add your other launchers. What would you say, Nael?
I said no window shadows.
Oh yeah.
Taking up all the RAM.
Right. Yeah, the way Apple's going to be doing with their new glass UI.
Glass.
But yeah, the other exciting part is you get to actually in your gaming mode run other launchers like Steam, EA, Ubisoft. I don't know if they mentioned Epic or GOG, but I'm sure that'll be in there, and I'm sure there's a way to run other non-launcher, non-Steam games in there as well. But yeah, it seemed very. I found it. I can't wait for it to come to my PC. I think it'll only be a Windows 11 thing. I'm still running Windows 10 on my PC. I'm waiting until the very end of life until I have to upgrade. But yeah, that seems very exciting for me. And it looks like there's also predictions that their future Xbox consoles are going to be taking the same approach, where it's basically a gaming PC, but with a more controller friendly, TV friendly UI. The reason I wanted to bring this up is I had a friend of mine mention that, because of this, it's game over. Xbox is going to destroy Sony. And I'm like, the way I see it, if we're looking at the race between Sony and Microsoft, if they're on a racetrack, Sony is already maybe a lap or two ahead. So for Microsoft to keep up with Sony, they'd have a long way to go. And the reason I say this, one, I mean, there's been a little bit worse PR on Microsoft with the recent price increase on all the Xbox hardware. And it's not the console to get exclusive games anymore, because there's no such thing as Microsoft exclusives anymore. They're coming out on PlayStation now.
They're always competing with themselves on
yeah,
PC,
with the PC part as well. If you look at as of March 2025, twice the number of PS5s have been sold compared to Xbox Series. I think PS5 was close to 75 million compared to the 33, 34 million that the Xbox Series did. And there's always the confusion between the Series S and the Series X. And with their naming as well, it's am I getting a new Xbox? Oh, let me go with the Xbox. People are like, I got a Series X, or I got the new X console version of the Xbox, and it turns out they got the Xbox One X. Yeah, that's always going to be a confusing thing. I think they have a long way to go before they can even start competing with Sony in that front. Sony leads the brand with their brand strength in that console gaming space. Yeah, that's what I wanted to say. You guys want to? What do you guys have to say about that? What are you guys' thoughts on that?
I'll go last because I have a full, not a rant, but a full. Because I've had this conversation for years with a lot of people, so I'll go last. I'll let Nael go first.
Okay, that'll be perfect for the social media clipping.
I mean, I don't think I disagree with your assessment of things. Microsoft has a lot of fingers in a lot of pies. Xbox is never, or Microsoft Gaming has never been their biggest priority, even though from our gamers' perspective, they always seem to gobble up more and more of the pie. But what do we get for it?
Right. Yeah. All right.
All right.
Let's hear it. Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
All right.
Okay.
There's gonna be like 20 different clips. I'm just kidding. So you gotta kind of like look at everything as a whole. And I've said this like early on in the Series X era. I was like, this is. I mean, there's no proof of me saying that, but I'm telling you, I've had a conversation with people about this, and they can vouch for me. I've said that eventually gaming is going to be. You're not going to differentiate between consoles and PCs anymore. Because PC gaming was booming so fast that everyone was gearing towards it. You just have to think business wise. It's about access at this point. It's about because you have to look at it where when we were growing up as kids, it was a brand new industry, brand new medium entertainment. So like there was just so many new customers. Now, as companies grow, expenses get more and projects are a lot more difficult to release. They cost a lot more. And you hit that ceiling where the progress of gaming in terms of like innovation, blowing people's minds, immersion, it starts hitting that ceiling where there's not much of a difference. And you've already gobbled up all the gamers that are going to exist, like that are enjoying the hobby, and you're losing a lot of the ones from the early days because they're getting older, family, and they're just dropping out of it, which is very common. So what do you need to do next is to get the next at every business. And you're seeing it just across every tech company in every industry. You have the next stage was getting people who are not there. They've lasted this long not being a part of your platform or buying your product. So it's like that percentage where now that's going to make it or break it for you. That's what you need to do to continue as a larger company. So what do you have to do is making it more accessible and easier for them to come in. Because if you've sold this product so many years and they're still not getting into it, there's a problem when they're not into it.
Right.
So now you look how Xbox is behaving, and I had a feeling Sony was going to get complacent this generation because how they blew everyone out of the water in the PS4 generation, and Nintendo had to switch gears and come up with the Switch. I mean, pun intended. Yeah, the Switch, and then now the Switch 2. So they're always been in their own league. They've always tried to compete in their history with like GameCube, and they always lacked behind. Like the GameCube never really sold that well, and even though it was a diehard fan base, and it's nostalgic and it's important in their history, but it never sold that well. So Nintendo's eventually just started going their own direction, staying true to their IPs and going a different direction, and they're a whole different class. So now it's Xbox, PlayStation, and now PC. PlayStation, if you look at their stock in terms of like trust with their IPs, I mean, from the store, a lot of these IPs, like people are not enjoying them as much. And Sony hired that British dude, Jim Ryan, and he messed everything up with all the service-based stuff. And they canceled every project. Like all these projects, not every project, but all these all these live services, majority of them are done. Like they just dumped all this money and that's it. Helldivers was Helldivers was like a one in a like it was a lucky. They weren't even thinking about that game. It wasn't heavily advertised.
It only got lucky because
and then they try to mess it up and people gave them backlash. And then Sony's still not grasping. Hey, you need to do one day release for your PC and PlayStation. They're still not doing it. They're just really complacent. Their IPs,
crossplay. Every game has to have
crossplay, and they're always trying to do a lot of little things to have control. Like Sony right now is just riding the wave of the PS4. The PS6 generation, I don't know how that's going to look like.
Unless they come out
I don't think Xbox is as behind as people think they are. They play in the long game, and Phil Spencer did a pretty good job. And Xbox always shoots itself in the foot. It's never PlayStation has to do anything. They're just shooting themselves in the foot with like. And also, PlayStation did say that after the Xbox price increase, no one caught it. They released a blog post like it's not far-fetched, like it's going to come on their end where they're going to increase. Yeah, they're going to increase all the.
They already did it internationally.
Nintendo's releasing increasing the Switch 1 prices in Canada. Switch 1. They came out today. Yeah, in Canada.
That's crazy.
So that's eventually going to come
the
here.
Marketplace.
Yeah. So Xbox has always been about access. So the Xbox initially had their own originally branded handheld. They scrapped it. They're no longer in the business of hardware anymore. They noticed, hey, we can't. We're not going to waste our time.
They made that decision back in what, like 2023.
Yeah, they're like done. And then you still have their consoles to have people who are fanboys and enjoy it. They're still going to be making it. They said, but that's not their priority. It's about access. And then you remember that the Xbox like Fire Stick that the leaks came out many years ago? They scrapped that. Samsung said, "Hey, you could put your Xbox app on our TV and stream."
On the TV. That's what I do.
It's all about access at this point. It's about getting the next wave of customers and like this handheld and everything. Now you're seeing Xbox with Meta, which is another segue for, later on we talk about it. They're just trying to get as many different types of gamers because they've bought all these different companies, all these variety of games, and they just can't lock it to one console because there's different games function in different environments and platforms and different types of gaming. So Xbox is doing the right thing. It just took them a little bit longer. Now I'm not saying, hey, they're like right behind, but they're on the right track.
Right.
But the problem Microsoft has is management issues across all especially their game studios with Halo. Yeah. Like most of the people at Halo Studios are still the same people from 343. They just got rid of the upper management. And they did announce today.
The same people, or they
majority of them are still the same people. They just got rid of few executives.
Right.
They did announce today that at the Halo event that I'm trying to go to in Seattle, the World Championships, they're announcing a new Halo game that they're working on.
Okay.
But it's like you're still wary about their decisions. Like Halo Infinite, like every update is more battle passes. Like Call of Duty is
they never released the co-op update, right, for Halo Infinite.
They scrapped it.
Yeah, they scrapped that.
Call of Duty is already struggling. I mean, it's still new under their belt, but it's already struggling again. All these other games and the development times and everything, they have a management issue because Microsoft is so large and they just gobble up so many companies that you're going to have a lot of cracks in between.
Yeah.
So again, it goes back to Microsoft always shooting itself in the foot, and Xbox is always back and forth with these like ideas like, hey, we're not going to do it. Oh, we're going to do it. They're trying, and they're trying a lot. They're especially with their whole everything's the Xbox. People like gave them a lot of flack. It became a meme. But I mean, in reality, it is kind of smart because that's what they're trying to do is access. Yeah. Like, I mean, every diehard gamer, like people who are in the gaming space or on like X, YouTube, and everything, they're gonna make fun of it because like, hey, we're diehard gamers, we like this. But again, you're no longer you're buying it. They don't need you anymore. Like
exactly,
you're still gonna buy it. So they need the next wave of generations to come, and Azure is getting a lot better. So it's gonna be about streaming, digital, this, that. The gaming industry is changing, and Xbox wasn't thinking for this generation. They were thinking ahead.
Right.
They stumbled. They tried. They're like, you know what? Scrap it. We're just gonna push forward. Like they were split between this generation and the future.
You can't count Microsoft out with how much money cash.
And they have so much money and so much like even they don't mind losing now for how many million because they're thinking long term. Yeah. And Sony's getting really complacent. Like even their online, like they've made a lot of improvements, but they're not pushing it hard. PSVR 2, big flop. Like it's a solid headset. They're not trying.
Yeah.
They're just going for the quick returns, and that's not the Sony that used to be.
Yeah, it's going to work in the short term, but not in the long term.
Yeah, so I'm curious to see how Sony's going to pivot because although Xbox is not going to gobble up the customers, it's just going to be a supplement. It's just now, okay, hey, Sony, we as a company now need to start doing more access stuff. Okay, well, as a gamer now, I'm going to think I'm not going to have three different gaming subscriptions. So is Sony going to be that person where, hey, I'm thinking, like, look how many games are coming to Game Pass.
Oh, yeah, Game Pass is
so many games now. It's crazy.
Absolutely.
It's crazy. Even at like $25 a month, like how many games are $80, $70 now? So that's four games. You're already at $250, $300. So if you do $25 a month, that's the same thing. You get way more games, and games aren't physical anymore. They're all digital codes. So like, hey, why not? So, but why am I going to buy PlayStations? They have way less.
One of the podcasts I listen
to, like, you don't even have. If you have a TV, that's enough.
Yeah, and then and the Xbox leaks,
the Samsung,
the marketing mishap that they had where they accidentally released a marketing image where it had Steam on there like several months ago. They're open. They're like, hey, bring all your thing here. We just want people to buy our stuff. Like, do whatever you want. Steam, Epic, literally everyone. We don't care. That's what they're trying to play, is just trying to bring everyone to make it the central hub. They want to be that funnel. And Steam doesn't care either. Like, okay, cool, like whatever.
Exactly.
Like,
Yeah, because like, hey, more people are buying our games, playing our games. That's what they want.
But the reason why the model Nintendo works, like the strong IP and closed system, is because they've kept true to their IPs for now.
Exactly.
Sony fell off. Like, think about Last of Us, done. Like, I don't care for it anymore. Like, a lot of fans left. The show, no one cares. God of War is the only thing that like really is peak. You have what else?
Well, God of War, even they're like done with
Naughty
more God
Dog
of War
is
games.
Dead.
No,
yeah.
They're working on more supposedly.
Okay, we'll see. I mean, I think this North storyline is done.
Yeah, North storyline is done. Horizon, no one cares about. That new Naughty Dog's new game. Everyone was flopping about how many ads were in it, and the characters looks uninteresting. Like, especially Neil Druckmann. I'm good, bro. Like, Zio. So, there's like the IPs
Ghost of Yote was probably like we have a few exceptions here and there. Ghost of Yote
split. You never know. I'm just saying, you never know. Like,
we'll see.
Sony's trend of, hey, this is a Muslim podcast. We know what Sony's about lately.
Okay.
Certain flag colors, but I'm just saying it because in Ghost of Tsushima there was a character that was
there's that one.
Sony's about that. You saw what happened to Horizon, all this stuff.
Yeah,
the parents bought their kids the DLC not knowing what's in it, and there's a whole scene. Yeah, Sony is about that. If you even look the presenters at Sony for their events, they're
okay.
So I don't know. Sony's shutting down all their Japanese studios, catering towards our Americans a little bit more, and that whole movement's kind of dying off. Like, they gotta shift now. There's time, but they have to shift. So my point is, Xbox is not as far as behind, and Sony's kind of getting a little complacent.
Okay,
they're strong, but they're getting complacent. Okay. That's my point. But I'm looking at everything as a whole.
Yeah. Definitely.
Right,
would you agree with the assessment that maybe it? No. Thank you. That's great. Yeah, I got a bunch of clips out of that. So hey, you're making my job easier there. But would you say that there are like you would still say that Microsoft is still behind, but they're thinking ahead. So
they're definitely behind, but they're thinking
only
ahead.
Behind in terms of like how many active players, how many people are well, not even active players. I would say just hardware, pure hardware.
Right. Even with their IP, like. You don't think of like Halo's not as big as it used to be anymore.
Nope.
The one exception might be Call of Duty with how many players are playing.
That's a good point. Like, how much money can you keep spending to keep these games on your platform? When now, hey, I'm a third-party developer. For instance, like a game like Space Marine or like Persona, this, that. Okay, cool. Sony's gonna come in here. Hey, we'll pay you extra. You can only keep your game on our platform. For the services, like the online service, like the PS Plus or whatever, you can't go anywhere else. Hey, I'm gonna I'll go to where the money is.
Yeah.
The reason people are going to Game Pass because they're the ones that are more established for right now. If Sony really wanted to and tried, they would just dump money into it a lot more. But they're not ready to compete fully. Like, they're competing, but not hard.
Yeah.
They're competing with Xbox, but they're not competing with Microsoft.
There's so much money you could dump at these companies to keep your game on the platform. For how long? Like 5, 10, 20 years? Like, what's going to happen? How's that going to look like? That's the issue. So their IPs themselves like are kind of they're up and down for Xbox.
Right. They are.
Yeah, that's the issue.
Definitely. I think we should definitely move on to our next story. We've been on this for a while.
Sorry. Yeah, go ahead.
No. It's okay. Actually, you know what? Why don't we talk about some of your stories,
sure,
Mohammed? Yeah.
Real quick, I'm a very big VR person. Xbox released their partner with Meta for the Quest 3S, not the regular Quest 3, with the exclusive Xbox edition. It doesn't function any different. It's just different color wave. Looks pretty sick. And Xbox had this partnership with Meta, like I think a year after COVID or 2 years. They announced both at the same time, where Xbox Game Pass streaming is on the Quest, and they actually partnered up with enterprise companies like Accenture, which is a cloud-based consulting company. They were trying to like make VR like a central point, and that the enterprise stuff didn't work. So now they're doubling down more on the entertainment stuff. You see them do partnerships more with the UFC, different sports agencies, movies, experiences, and concerts and everything. So gaming with Xbox, like, hey, more access to gamers, because you're seeing a lot of people buy these, AR glasses, and they finally made the Quest 3 like have HDMI in. So now you're able to utilize that Quest 3 for with different devices, and now streaming your Xbox games actually for a few years within the Quest 3. So you're not running it natively. It's just a marketing promo just to push more headsets,
right?
And to get more Game Pass subscribers. So you get Game Pass 3 months and then Meta Plus for 3 months, but it's sold out. Next thing is it's just interesting to see one of the largest VR games, Beat Saber, no longer supporting PSVR 2. No more updates, no more music packs. It's kind of
It's just
concerning.
because PSVR 2 has kind of died off, or basically died off.
It's died off, and I think too because like the music packs are like $5 to $8, and take 30% away from that from Sony's thing. You're like, hey, like is this even worth it? And not many people
and
were spending time.
And they have to pay their licensing fees.
Licensing fees. I was like, it's not even worth it anymore.
Yeah. I'm sure they looked at user analytics and probably found that majority of them are on Meta itself.
And that company, like Beat Saber, has been around for a long time, so kind of move on. You got to make something new, so they might be trying to save something up for something new to come out with. But I mean, for it to happen in PSVR 2 is not surprising. It was kind of concerning because like we did have a wave of like new PSVR 2 games from other headsets and platforms come, like a huge surge. And there's new games coming out too. It's like Sony's very iffy how they want to talk about PSVR 2. Like 1 year they'll talk about every event, and then it's 1 year they're just not talking about it at all.
Yeah.
They're not giving it as much love as they. So it's just it's PSVR 2. Second thing, so another thing that's kind of concerning. Meta has a big hand in VR game development. They have a lot of studios under their umbrella. So everyone else is going to be like indie. There's no big first part like companies like Sony or Xbox making VR experiences. There are some partnerships, but so Onward, which is one of the largest, one of the big 3 FPS VR games, is no longer being getting updates anymore. Meta decided, hey, you're going to stop doing this. You're going to move on to helping out the sister company Camouflage, which made Arkham Shadow, which is exciting. Like, hey, like what talent from an FPS studio you're going to use to make a new game with a company that made Batman Arkham Shadow. It's kind of disappointing because Onward 2.0 just released like 3 months ago, and they said, hey, no more, we're done. The game will still work. If there's game breaking bugs, they'll fix it, but there's no like add-ons,
new content patches and stuff.
New content, nothing. No, this is the final product. Like that's it.
Okay.
So now you're stuck with Pavlov, and what's the other one? Can't think of the top of my head. Like games like Kyoto Tabor and Contractors.
Contractors, yeah, that's the one I'm thinking of.
Yeah, they have two. There's Contractors and Contractors Showdown. So there's 2 modes for that one. So I mean, you kind of Onward's is a titan in the original VR games, but it's a fun game. So it's just kind of like VR going through its rough patch again. So 2 big games.
Yeah. I mean, I know VR has its user base, so it's not going anywhere. But like you said, it's probably just a rough patch for now.
It's rough right now.
Yeah. One thing I wanted to quickly get into before we move on to some of the games we're playing, if we have time for that. There are a bunch of new game announcements from Sony and Microsoft. Anything you guys want to talk about very quickly, other than what you can see on my list, because I want to talk about those?
No, go ahead, talk about them.
Okay. There was one from Sony. There were a bunch. One that really I wouldn't say it excited me. It looks interesting. A 007 First Light. It's its own. It's a James Bond origin story made by the guys that made the Hitman games. So it'll be interesting to see how they go about with that formula. Story separate from the movies and everything, and
it looked good.
It looked a little rough, but I mean that's always early gameplay. The only way to really judge a game is once you have it in your hands, you're playing a final or like an actual release version of it. But yeah, it is very exciting to get some 007 gaming out there. And then the other one that looked super interesting from Sony was a game called Pragmata. I forgot the studio behind it. I should have written it down. But it's basically like a sci-fi game.
Capcom?
I think you're right. I think it was either Capcom or Konami. I think
this was one of the first games they showed off with the PS5 launch, and it disappeared. And I was sad. I was like, "What happened to that game? Like, it looked good."
That's right. Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. And it's like you're carrying a child on your back that has like these powers. It's kind of giving me some Dead Space vibes because they're in some derelict spaceship. But yeah, it looks really interesting. Microsoft had a bit more. They had Clockwork Revolution, this immersive sim RPG. I can't even tell what it is, but just the vibes of it. It's like, hey, this looks really cool. Blood of Dawnwalker, former Witcher 3 devs that worked on this game.
Yep.
And it's basically you're a vampire hunting other vampires, and it's basically Blade. But yeah, in more of like a medieval setting. And then this one looks super interesting. Mudang 2 Heart. It's a Korean dev.
Yep.
It's making this like third person shooter. It's got some like horror sci-fi elements to it. Looks really interesting. Looks really good. Can't wait to see more of it when stuff comes out.
And Resident Evil 9. I don't know.
Oh yeah, Resident Evil. Yeah.
Finally getting another one.
Yeah. I still haven't played Village or 7 or the 4 remake is probably the next one I'm gonna do.
7. Oh, I love 7 and 8, but dude, 7, 7's so good.
Yeah, it's on my list. Slowly we'll work through the games that I have to play. Speaking of games that we're playing, go ahead.
Sorry, I'm just looking forward to all these games. I just want to all these games I'm looking forward to.
Okay. Oh yeah. It's a good time to be into gaming. I'll say that. Especially for us gamers, minus the $80 pricing. So we'll stick to playing what we already have. So speaking on that, some of the games that you already own or have and you're playing through, Nael, you want to tell us a little bit about some of the games you've been playing, if you have the time to play? I know you got into a little bit of Mario Kart and Wind Waker.
Yeah, so like I mentioned, Mario Kart World, Wind Waker, just jumping into Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom a little bit. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. We'll hear more from you after you've tried out some more Switch 1 games, see how their performance is on the Switch 2.
I'll report back next time.
Death Stranding, I'm still working on the first one. I had a kind of a hiatus. I'm getting into the meat of it. I was trying to get it done before number 2. It's getting more fun. It's not as it is walking simulator kind of a little bit. But as it gets more challenging, you're just like, oh, I don't want to drop this package. I gotta go pick this up. I gotta go up this hill. It becomes a little bit more strategic. And the story, it's like it has this like it keeps you wanting to know more. I mean, I don't know if you guys have played it.
Oh yeah, that's Kojima for you. He does that really well.
Yeah, so I like it, and the environment, especially on like a PC and a nice monitor, is just beautiful. Like,
oh yeah.
It looks so good, and I've heard good stuff about how the second one looks on a PS5. So I'm looking forward to that. Playing Space Marine 2. I am a Warhammer fan recently in the last several years, but they released a new Siege mode, which is a lot cool, reminiscent of like the Horde modes and Gears and ODST. It's very difficult. It's a lot of fun.
Okay.
I tried out the new Dune game for a little bit. It's cool. It's interesting. It's just a big time. It requires a lot of time. It takes a lot of time.
Those like what's it called, survival crafting type games.
Yeah, they combined. So it's not like a typical survival like on PC like Rust or any of those. It's very different.
Is it grindy?
Not as much as you think. It has like RPG elements where it's like an actual RPG game.
Gotcha.
But dude, here's the thing. I knew nothing about Dune before this. I only heard stuff. And I heard about how
you didn't read the book, no movie.
No, I've only heard stuff about how it's like really close to like Islam, and the guy took, bro. This dude literally ripped Ardeen and just made a game like a story.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
There was a part they're like, oh, they denied us our Hajj. I was like, what? They mentioned Mehdi and stuff. I was like, dude,
it's very interesting.
I was like, bro, like this is what is this like?
Yeah.
There's so many things like that. I was just like, oh, this is like a really.
You just heard some terms.
Stay away from the movies because I was so triggered by how badly they pronounced everything.
Yeah,
like,
even in the
what's
game.
Her name?
Our Hajj. I'm like,
what's her name? Zendaya kept calling him, "Oh, you're the Maddie."
Yeah, like it's really bad. Like, it's really bad. I mean, I get it, but I know the story this is compelling, so I might get into it. But yeah, that's just kind of hard. One of the hard things for me. I was trolling the game a lot when I was playing. So that's about it.
Okay. Are you into like survival crafting type games yourself?
Yeah, I played a lot on PC. I played Icarus. I played Rust. I played a bunch of different ones. This one's a little different. Like it's like a true aspect of an RPG. Not just like, hey, there's some RPG.
Not just crafting.
Like, there's an end game. You need to there's an end game. I haven't got there. My friend, we bought it at the same time, and he just been grinding like crazy. He's put a lot of hours. I'm like, I can't keep up. Like, I'm just showing up. Like, every day I come back in, I'm like, he unlocked like so many different levels. Like, bro, like I'm missing half the game. Like, I'm not unlocking anything. He's like, I'll build this for you, give you access, like whatever. I'm like, I'm missing so many parts of the game. Like, he has 4 helicopters. That probably more. And we joined a guild. We joined a guild. We had neighbors that were nice enough, whatever. But yeah,
Nice.
yeah, it's a time jump. It's a time sink. Yeah, time sink.
Yeah, for sure.
What are you playing, man?
Speaking of time sinks, so what's funny is with all these different systems that I own, I ended up getting this little guy here. It's a little emulator handheld. This one
didn't have enough systems, right?
So yeah, exactly. Like I didn't have enough systems.
Is that an
This one is the Ambernick, and
cool.
Like people are always
hating
on Ambernick's naming systems. This is the Ambernick RG35XX.
Yeah.
H. What does that mean?
So the the RGXS is like a specific type of chipset that they use, which goes up to like PS1, some N64, and PSP. The 3.5 is a screen size 3.5 inches, and the H is the horizontal form factor.
I have the
they had a few different. You had the I was between either the SP or this one or the vertical one, and then they have the trim UI brick, which looks really good. But I was like, no, I want the horizontal and I want the thumbsticks. So I'm glad I went with this. Put a new OS in it, and I don't know if I'll get in trouble for saying some of the games that I'm playing on here.
I see the list.
You know what? I'll say, because there's so many podcasts that talk about the games that they're playing on here.
But didn't you show me your collection? You have like every single one boxed, and you own them all.
Yeah,
I bet you showed me like
yeah.
Okay, well, you have
it's
the
in
whole
his garage.
Yeah. It just set away. I can't really access it easily.
No, bro, he put it in like a sealed safe.
Right, exactly.
Yeah,
it's a sealed safe that I can't accce right now. But I mean, I do. Yeah. I mean, I've tried out a lot of different games on here. But the ones I'm really playing through are Pokemon Fire Red, and then I heard about it was on one of I think it was the Ambernick subreddit where someone showed this game called Pokemon Unbound. I'm like, what is that? And then I went down a rabbit hole of what these are, and they're basically ROM hacks of different Pokemon games.
Pokemon ROM hacks are so great, bro.
Yeah, so many of them.
Fun.
Yeah, and Unbound apparently is like one of the best ones. And I do love having what was that?
What's different about it?
So I haven't tried any of the other ROM hacks, but it's basically a ROM hack of Fire Red. In Unbound, it's like it tells its own story. You're starting out in the snowy area, and it's not like Team Rocket. It's like its own region. That's sort of like it was. It's a fan-made ROM hack, so it's telling its own story there. What's great about it, quality of life wise, is that there's a lot more. Like you don't have to wait until you get to a Pokemon Center to heal your Pokemon. Like there's like many different parts. Like if you run into a Chansey in a cave, that'll heal all your Pokemon for you. So it makes a lot of that gameplay more interesting. There's even difficulty settings now. Like I think it's original and hard. Some people, like their challenge with their Pokemon games. What else? There's even XP share that you can turn on or off, which has been like it's my favorite thing about the newer Pokemon games. But I love the look of the Game Boy Advance Pokemon game, so having that feature is great. The only thing I don't like about it, this is me absolutely nitpicking, is the music for when you get into the wild battles and the trainer battles. It gives you an option to switch it, but I can't really choose anything else. Like it's only giving, maybe I don't have to unlock more, which I can't wait because it's just it starts to become a really unpleasant earwig. And then the last one is Metroid Zero Mission, which anyone who knows me knows I'm a huge fan of Metroid. I probably will be getting Metroid Prime 4, even though I still have to play through 1 through 3. But yeah, Zero Mission, I actually already did beat it before, but I'm playing through it again here because it feels so good to play on this handheld. It's very ergonomic. So yeah, loving this thing. And I've been playing on this way more than I have on my PC or my Switch. My Switch, I got into a little bit of, what's that game? SteamWorld Dig, because I never beat the original one. Okay. So just playing through that. Because there was a way to get SteamWorld Dig on here, but I didn't have the right Linux files for it. So like, you know what? I already own it on my Switch, so let me just play it there handheld. Pretty easy way to go through it. But yeah, that's what we got there.
Yeah, dude, that's so many different of those handhelds.
Which ones do you have? I want to hear.
Dude, there's so many. I don't know.
See, I know you have the SP one.
Different iterations of them. Mm-hmm. Dude, I have the SP one. I have the Mio Mini. have so many different RG ones, like the RG4.
The 40XX.
I have a couple of those different ones. They're like, oh, this one has a second analog stick. I'm like, oh, let me get that one now. Like, I just never. It's like,
yeah, it's funny how like only one makes you want to get the other ones too, right?
Yeah, you're like, oh, this one's for these type of games. This one's for this type of games. It's like, dude, I have something that I don't even have time to play all these. Yeah. But they're so cheap, dude. Like, don't buy them off Amazon. Buy them direct, like from them or AliExpress. Like,
well, it's cheaper. Right now it's about the same price if you're going either way because of the tariffs and everything.
Really?
Yeah,
it's that much more.
So on Ambernick, I think the shipping price for a lot of them is like $18 or $22. So they'll say, yeah. So yeah, and that's from the U.S. warehouse, not even the China warehouse.
Might as well buy it off Amazon free.
Exactly. That's what I did. I got Prime, so I got it way quicker.
Yeah,
so,
I'm
just sticking with this. I love that a device as small as this, you can just fit into your pocket easily. So it's become a good EDC, everyday carry.
But interesting enough, I don't know if you guys Android or iPhone users.
Android.
On iPhone.
Okay, I've had both. I've had more Android than iPhone. Android, obviously, you have all the emulators, but iPhone has gotten a lot better.
Oh yeah,
there's more than just Game Boy now. So if you're, you don't want to buy one, you want to use the iPhone, you can play Pokemon on it, and just boom, done.
I messed around with it, but I like having a device that doesn't get distracting with like other notifications or whatever. So just one thing specific.
Having the buttons
the
too.
Sticks are helpful.
Exactly.
The buttons are helpful.
Or you play extra now. Buy those controllers. The
oh yeah, I have
the whole thing.
I went down a rabbit hole of those as well. Yeah, I'm like, let me just stick with this.
Just for listeners if they don't want to, but there's an option. But
there's.
I'm not gonna tell you where you get the ROMs, but yeah.
Yeah, you have to own the games.
You have to own the
game. In a safe, you have to buy them CIB collectors in box, and complete in box in a safe.
Yeah, there we go.
Unaccessible safe.
Accessible or inaccessible, that's okay.
Unaccessible.
Unaccessible. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, anyways, to our viewers and listeners, we wanted to keep it under an hour, but alhamdulillah, we had fun talking about this. I hope you had as much fun. Yeah, it's okay. No. We love having you here, Mohammed. It's been great vibes, great talks here. And to our viewers and listeners, I hope you guys are having fun. Thank you guys for making it this far. You could have been anywhere else doing anything else, but you chose to stick with us. And for that, we want to thank you for that. I hope you really did enjoy all this video game talk. I'm curious for the viewers and listeners. Have you guys gotten your Switch 2 yet? Are you waiting on it? Let us know in the comments. Don't forget to like and subscribe on YouTube or whatever podcast platform you're on. And check us out on our social medias. On Instagram, we're at Muslim Gamers Podcast. TikTok, we're at Muslim Gamers GG. Thanks to our co-hosts, Mohammad and Nael. Let's start with Mohammad. Tell us where people can find you.
You can find me on Instagram, X, TikTok, and YouTube, all Mobies Gaming. Post long form videos. I have one coming out about the 360 coming out pretty soon.
Oh, okay.
I do a lot of VR content, but I kind of sometimes mix it up a little bit. I love gaming in general. So it's going to be interesting 360 video. I'll talk about a little bit of my collection and some nostalgia and some new stuff about 360 people don't know about. But yeah, you can find me on those platforms.
I can't wait for that. The 360 generation was my favorite generation.
It's peak, man.
Yeah, absolutely. And since you were getting into the MetaQuest Xbox version of it, you had a video of that on your channel too, so people can check that out over there. Appreciate and that. Also, tell us about this Riverbank and where to find more info about that.
Yeah, Riverbank is riverbank.social. You can find, if you're in SoCal, come check us out at one of our pop-ups. We are serving up some fun mocktails, very interesting mocktails. We try to take a more culinary approach to things and work with some, culture and make some interesting flavors.
See, not a lot of people do this, but they're mock. What do you call a bartender that just makes mocktails? Mocktail bartenders.
I don't have a word for it yet.
Okay.
I don't even like the word mocktail. You
call him that.
Yeah. No, basically, the people that make your mocktails at the Riverbank Social are the only ones you'll ever see stretching before they make it for you. So
I saw that today.
All right. Well, thank you again, viewers, listeners, for tuning in. We'll catch you on the next episode, inshallah. Until then, stay safe, count your blessings, and keep the oppressed in your prayers and your du'as. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.
Assalamu alaikum, guys.